Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is Tag Tuesday, so I'm going to do a tag. This one was very popular around December. We gonna get to it if my notes updates. And this is the Do I Have That Book challenge. I'm very excited to do this. Hopefully it goes well and is not an embarrassment. So, I mean, I watched a lot of these back in the day, a couple months ago, but I have forgotten most of the prompts. So, I guess I will set a stopwatch and get to it. 1, 2, 3, go. A book with deckled edges. I know I have one. Here it is. The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? What's this one? Well, I mean, like, this one has dead people on the cover. I think that counts. There's a whole bunch of people lying here on the ground. All Quiet on the Western Front is one of my favorite books by Heinrich Maria Remarque. Anyways. Do you have a book based on another fictional story? So, retelling. Yes, I do. I have 1001 Nights by E.K. Johnson, which is based on the fairy tale. Do you have a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter? Ha! The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It starts with a T and ends with a T. Do you have the Mass Market Paperback? Duh, I read cozy mysteries. I have tons of Mass Market Paperbacks. Do you want to see another? Ba-bam! Lots of them. Do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? Yes, I do. I definitely do. Whether I can reach it from here easily is another question. Oh! Yes, Eva Gates is a pen name for, shoot. Do you have a book with a character's name in the title? Do I have a book with a character's name in the title? That is a good question. Hild. The main character in this book is Hild, a saint, and the book is called Hild, and this is by Nicola Griffith. It was a really interesting book to read. Do you have a book with 2 maps in it? That's probably going to be a fantasy book. Yeah. So this is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. It has a large map of the world, and then it has a tiny map of 2 rivers, which is where the book starts off. 2 maps. Okie dokie. Do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? Doy. Heck yeah, I do. I talk about this series all the time. This is the first book in the Miss Fisher Murder Mystery series called Cocaine Blues by Carrie Greenwood. Do you have a book written by someone who's originally famous for something else? Celebrity, author, artist. Yes, I do. Ruin my setup. Squish you back. Fortunately, my memoirs are over there, which is probably where most of these books would be. And I have As You Wish, The Inconceivable Tales from the Making of the Princess Bride by Carrie Uhls, who is an actor. So he's definitely famous for something else. Do you have a book with a clock on the cover? I know I do. I know I do. I know I have The Time Machine, which is over there, which would be really hard to get to. But I feel like I have another book with a clock on the cover. This one has a watch. A watch is a clock. Counts. And that is Mostly Harmless by Douglas Adams. This is the 5th book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. Yes, I did say that right. Next is a book of poetry. I'm gonna go with no. I have maybe some books in verse somewhere over there with my school books, but in my main collection I don't have any books of poetry. Do you have a book with an award stamp on it? Somewhere I do. I know that these are probably going to be easier for children's books. Just put that back. Station 11 has an award stamp on it. It is the winner of the 2015 Toronto Book Awards. I would have shown The Break, but I loaned it to someone and they never gave it back to me. So, do you have a book written by an author with the same initials as you? So my initials, we're going to go with CE for my first and last name. And this again will take a while. I have CF and CD, so that's close. So looking at all the books that I can easily reach from where I'm currently standing, I'm going to go with no. I don't own any books with someone with the same initials as me, but at the end we'll go on Goodreads and see if I have lied. Do you have a book of short stories? I sure do. No, I put it away. I just finished Arrival by Ching, and it's a book of short stories, and I loved it. Do you have a book between 500 and 510 pages? I'm sure I do. That was a lot shorter than I thought it was. It's 512. Well, technically this is 509 because the last 2 pages are acknowledgements, so I don't count that. So yes, I do have a book between 500 and 510 pages, and that is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, which I have not read. Do you have a book that has been turned into a movie? Do I ever? If you have watched my last video, you would have watched me list off several. Today I will talk about The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, and this has been turned into a movie. I have not watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to watching it. Do you have a graphic novel? I have many graphic novels. I have more on the shelf over there. These are just my unread ones, and there's 6 of them. So, yes, I have a graphic novel. And then the final question, question 20, is do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? And I am sure that I do. The only question is where? Where is it? Oh, so right now I know I have some written by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson at the end when Robert Jordan died, but I also have one of the creepiest books I've ever read called The Book of the Dead by Douglas Pearson and Lincoln Child. It might not be as creepy now, but when I read it, it was very creepy. But I really enjoyed it, and I have kept it on my shelf to remind me that it was creepy. And stop. So it took me 13 minutes to answer those 20 questions, which I think is pretty good. It means that I took about a little bit more than 30 seconds per question. And now we're going to go to Goodreads and see if I lied about having an author. So again, I just was drawing from this area. I do have 2 areas of other areas of books in my room. So it is possible that I do have an author that has CE as initials, especially seeing as though I have a lot of academic books over on one of my other shelves that I just didn't know. So far I've learned that I have a lot of authors with the last name that starts with B. Nothing in my red books. I'm currently reading Kurt Vonnegut, which obviously is not a C or an E. And Let's just scroll on down. Ooh, already past the E's. So I was correct. No authors on my shelf that have the same initial as me. No CEs. But that's the end of this tag. If you have done this tag or do this tag in the future, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to watch your version of it. Come back next week for another tag. All of the questions and everything will be linked down below along with the original creator, so please go check out their video as well. And yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you next week.